Hello to you, and thanks very much for tuning in. My name is Robert Santos. It's been a while since I recorded another video. I've just been so busy with a website I'm creating, with a digital business, digital marketing business that I'm creating. So I want to first of all apologize to those of you who watched my first video and then wondered, where the heck did I go? And I appreciate you sticking around and willing to click again and see what I have to say. One of the things I realized is that you don't know who I am. That's what this video is going to be about. So, who am I? I live here in San Diego, California, but I was born and raised on Guam. Pacific Island, and it is a U.S. territory. It's basically between Hawaii and Asia. Not smack in the middle, but more or less. Growing up on the island, I was always thinking. I was always planning. I was always dreaming. In fact, I remember in middle school, one of the books I found in one of our bookshelves was The Magic of Thinking Big. And it really framed my mind. And it's the reason why at a very young age I adopted this positive way of thinking. I was always taking action. And in middle school, I knew that I wanted to get into broadcast TV. Basically something to do with TV. I didn't know it was going to be broadcast news. All I knew was just going to be TV. When I was younger, I was a big fan of watching LA News, which we got on the island, believe it or not. And I remember coming home, and one of the things I would do is tune into Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Tawny Little, Jerry Dunphy. Yeah, those were the two that I watched a lot. Dr. Dean Adele. Some of you may not even know who these people are. But just to give you some history, I knew that in order to be successful, I needed to start getting practice in front of the camera. Any chance I could get. So I was looking through the newspaper and I found an audition for Kids Eye on Guam at a PBS station. PBS, yes, we had it on Guam. For those of you who aren't familiar, if you're watching somewhere around the world, it's the public broadcast station. And Guam had an affiliate. Kids Eye on Guam. It was a little locally produced show hosted by kids. That was my first gig. And then in high school, I saw another audition for the host of the Academic Challenge Bowl. So I auditioned for that again. And I got the part. So in junior and senior high school, I was a host on basically a game show on PBS between high school and middle school students. As a kid growing up, I realized how important it was to dream big, to set a plan in place, and take consistent action. Because it worked. In high school, I went to Guam Cable TV, which was one of two stations on the island, and wanted to become a reporter. They didn't want to hire me because I was too young at that time and told me to come back, which I did. Graduated, and guess what? I got my first job in television news back on Guam. So then again, confirmed for me that when you put a plan in place, you take action, you get it. So my next plan that I was constantly looking at ever since middle school was preparing myself for the big jump off the island to come to the States to attend college. I probably would have left Guam right after graduating from high school. Instead, though, I stayed on Guam because my mother had passed away when I was a senior in high school. And I wanted to stick around for at least a couple of years for the anniversary and so forth. So I stayed on Guam, attended the University of Guam, and then eventually made the jump to Pepperdine University in Malibu, California. But actually, before going to Pepperdine, I flew from Guam 12,000 miles all the way to Europe. I went to Amsterdam. I was probably 18. Wonderful experience. I was there for a couple of months. So fast forward, I go off to Pepperdine, Club Med for Kids. Wonderful time there, about 3 years. And after graduating from Pepperdine, I embarked on this wonderful adventure again in TV news, working all over California, up and down the state.
This is where they're all going to be headed. This is the most extreme of all attractions here at Great America. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this VCNN Headline Edition. I'm Robert Santos. And that's what's dangerous about this.
Eventually working in Los Angeles.
Robert? Hell yeah, this student very lucky to be alive tonight. He's also been ordered by the court to surrender his pilot's license. Live downtown, Robert Santos, KTLA News.
I worked in Las Vegas.
Here's a beautiful shot from our Mandalay Bay cam right now. Current conditions out at McCarran, temperature 93 degrees.
And Seattle. Been staying mainly to the west. Not that I don't want to go east. It's just that the Today Show hasn't called yet. Or Good Morning America. Either one of them. I'm waiting. Got the phone ready. Throughout my career, I've received many accolades and awards and recognition. The Associated Press once recognized me as the Reporter of the Year throughout the Southwest. I was involved in newscasts that received Emmy Awards. I've interviewed thousands of people telling amazing stories and have traveled probably to almost every major city in the US as part of being in my business. But also in my personal travels, I've been to multiple places, from Japan to the Philippines to Mexico to Canada to Spain to France, Belgium. When I look back in my life, by most accounts, I've had a pretty good career. Most people have told me, and most people would think, that I've accomplished a lot and that life is great. Yet would you believe, throughout it all, I still felt like I was not living the life that I had envisioned. I still felt like there was more to accomplish, more to do. Again, it's part of thinking, planning, always doing. Isn't that what we're all doing for the most part? Trying to get to A, B, C, and D in order for us to finally live our lives. And I say, not for me. And I believe that you don't want that either. Life dealt me some pretty big challenges that woke me up. One of them was a huge financial breakdown. During the big real estate market boom in the early 2000s, I got swept up in buying real estate. Only a couple of properties, but still got swept up. I wanted to be able to create some passive income in my life. Bought a couple of properties, and eventually though, had to walk away from those two properties because of all the crap that was going on with high interest rates, of all that stuff. Big lesson for me. And it was the first time ever that I actually had to do one of the most difficult things in my life, and that was to declare bankruptcy. My mom raised me to be prompt with bills and be very good about payments and so forth, and so to declare bankruptcy, it was a big step. But that took a toll, all those financial worries. I made it work though by renting my rooms and having other gigs that paid me more than my regular job. But ultimately, it was just too much to handle. Throughout those financial challenges, but also personal struggles that I was going through, relationship-wise, everything else under the sun, I noticed some major changes going on in my life, which I later come to find out was part of anxiety. For someone who I thought was very cool, calm, collect, it was a big eye-opener for me. And so I had to make some major changes. And one other thing. I remember when I was in Seattle, I basically got rejected. My contract was not renewed. The first time in my career where I actually was basically let go. It was a big deal. Throughout all those challenges, I've come out on top. I feel that I am living my best life ever. I've never felt healthier in my life. Never felt more confident, and I trust the best has yet to come. You see, I realize that my journey is living my dream life now, not later. And I want to be able to share with you what I have learned and what I am learning throughout this process. So in the coming weeks, I'm going to try to get at least one video a week out that is an inspirational, motivational video. It's also going to be kind of a day in the life. I'm confident that you'll find them useful, and that it'll help you start to get the wheels in motion so that you also can start living your dream life now, not later. Stay tuned.